Well, here we are. I have it all set up. I'm going to go ahead and wash it really good underneath. It's all sanded down, ready for primer. But before we prime it, we got to etch it, etch the aluminum. So we got some etching products, and then we're going to wash it first with the heavy duty cleaner degreaser. We call this super soap. So we're going to give it a good bath right now. All right, so here we have our metal etch, and we need to put this on the aluminum because the paint that we have, you can't just paint aluminum. It has to be etched so that it could take the paint. So a product called One Choice SX579 Chem Fill. It's a metal cleaner etch, and if you read here, what we're going to do, since we're doing aluminum, we can go 1 to 10 ratio. See that? If you're doing other kind of metals, then it's a 1 to 2. But aluminum, nickel, and stainless steel, it's 1 to 10. So I'm going to put 1 cup of the cleaner in and 10 cups of water. Okay, we got our parts 10 to 1, water, etch. And here's the important thing. You want to apply this with some kind of Brillo pad or one of these little pads. But you don't want it to stay on long enough to where it starts to dry. So you want to clean, rinse, because when you're rinsing, you're neutralizing the etching materials. Because once they dry on the aluminum, if you were to paint over that, it could bleed through, it'll hurt the paint. So anyways, we're gonna go do that right now. Okay, we're putting the etching on, and we don't want to let it dry. We're gonna do about 1/3 of the boat, and then we're gonna rinse it off. All you gotta do is just cover the surface once. Okay, so this is extremely crucial, this one step. So I really want you to hear this, okay? When you get your etching material, I got the etch, mixed 10 parts to 1. It's caustic, so you gotta wear gloves. Here's the important part. You just wanna put it on like this, you don't want to put it on with the sponge. You want to use one of these little Brillo pads, okay? And kind of scrub it in. You don't have to go too hard like you're cleaning it, but you want to get it in there because what happens is aluminum has pores, and you want this chemical to get into the pores, because what's going to do, it's going to make the aluminum extremely acceptable for paint. Now, where I could not get see this right here? There's the Zolotone finish. I didn't sand this because my disc sander didn't fit too good. But that's okay, because it's really smooth as long as I etch it like this, okay? What's gonna happen is the primer will stick to it just as good as it's gonna stick to this bare aluminum because it was etched. Now, here's the crucial step. You don't want this to dry. So we put it on liberally, and we're gonna wait for probably about 5 minutes and just watch it. Kind of like when you wash your car on a hot day, you know, you'll soap it up with the soapy sponge, but then you want to rinse it before the soap dries. So that's what we want to do, because once it dries and it starts to set in the pores of the aluminum, it could come back once it's painted. It can work its way through the paint. So we want to see, it's starting to look like it's just starting to dry. So let's go ahead. We're just going to go like this. There, as soon as the water hits it, it's instantly neutralized. So you want to put it on with the little scrubber, let it set for a couple minutes, don't let it dry, neutralize it with water. Just a quick rinse, that's it. We're going to let this dry, we're going to leave it upside down so it doesn't get dirty, and in the morning we're going to start prime painting it. Well, we're not going to primer the boat after all, because the one thing I forgot to do is put in the seat hardware. So I went ahead, I put some seat hardware in for the seats. I'm making these mahogany seats, and I put all the hardware in because I want it to be all etched. It's aluminum, okay? So I want it to be all etched, ready to paint with the boat. When we prime and paint the boat inside, we want to paint all the hardware. Then our mahogany seats are just going to drop right in. So since what I did was the last day was I've been working on the mahogany seats. Let me show you them, check them out. Okay, so these are going to be like a bench seat. They just, right now they're upside down, and they're all mahogany. And I went ahead and, well, I took a lot of the clamps off this morning. I put these on yesterday, but I've been needing the clamps. So I need more clamps. Every time I go to the store, they tell me I buy them all, but I don't know. Anyways, so that's them. Okay, there's two of them. Our third one is right here on the back of the boat. So we just put this on, okay? And it's just 1x4 mahogany on 1x12 mahogany. We just kind of rounded the corners down. And the funny thing about mahogany, sometimes it kind of twists and stuff. So not only are we fastening it this way, but we also have to fasten it right here this way because it kind of had a crown in it. But I'm a huge mahogany fan. I grew up in a house that was 100% mahogany interior, even the kitchens and bathrooms. And you know, the hallways, bedrooms, living room, family room, the whole thing was mahogany and glass with all glass walls. It was really cool. So these are those, okay? And we got all of our new hardware in. There it is, stainless. I had to make the ones in the center because they were missing, but all 6 are in, ready for these seats to just drop in. So now this can get primered. So we're gonna go ahead and primer that, and we're gonna finish these seats. Thanks for joining, and we will give you an update tomorrow or probably the next day. Have a great day.